Hi, welcome to the small shed. This Saturday we're going to go and have a look at Hettie outside in the garage. See you in a minute. Now I thought I'd introduce you properly to Hettie, the car that's out in the garage. It was vaguely alluded to in the garage rebuild. You could see it was becoming slowly uncovered, and it was obviously star of the show in the giveaway. But I thought I'd just go out, give it a good clean as far as I can, and get all the mice bits out of it, all the bits of husk of nuts and things that have seemed to have accumulated in there, and all of the chewed up things that they've eaten while they've been living in there for the last God knows how long. So we'll go out, have a look at it, and I'll run you through the basics of the car itself and what sort of plans I've got for the future. Let's go out and have a look. So at least we can now see the car, so let's just see what we've got under here, what state it's in, because it's been left for quite some time. And I think the mice have also been in there, but we'll just have a look and take stock. It's probably 17 years since it's been seen the light of day. As I say, you can see from all the husks that the mice have been in there eating things. One of the screens is cracked from putting stuff on the bonnet, and the engine is out and in pieces because it needs some work doing to it. Mud guards were a bit whippy because I made some stays that are a bit loose and wobbly, so they may need sorting out. Just going to have a look inside, see what's there. Looks like we're going to need new silencers. I'm pretty badly rusty, but otherwise it's not too horrendous, but it's going to need a lot of work. Let's start and get it clean anyway. Right, I've got most of the really nasty stuff off and out of it. Let's have a quick look at the anatomy of it. It's Ford Cortina front hubs on fabricated suspension mounts. The chassis and everything is made up in steel. Glass fibre cover on the front which goes over the steering rack normally, and the bar which just generally holds the two sides rigid when the engine's in. V2 Honda engine, water cooled. That's what's failed at the moment and needs rebuilding. I've got two more over there, one in bits and one complete, so we'll see how we get on with that. Two exhaust pipes come round, one down either side out the front of the heads. It's a bit like the old Morgans in 1930, but they were air cooled with a Jap engine. You can get them with V4 1100 Honda engines. I've seen them with Harley Davidson engines mounted sideways with a Ford Cortina gearbox. No reverse on it at the moment, though that may be an option to do something about it, because it's a bit of a thing to lug about if you want to back up at all. Under the cover is basically the rest of the Honda bits. It's the radiator off the original Honda. A lot of wiring that I've put in that probably again needs a lot of work doing to it. Brake master cylinder, that also has got to be altered, because now it is a requirement of the MOT that you have hydraulic or braking on the rear as well as the two fronts. At the moment you've only got foot brake on the fronts and a handbrake on the rear, on the old bike rear, and I need to get that converted to put a hydraulic cylinder on the back that'll override or work with the handbrake, so we'll have braking on all three wheels. Fuel pump, fuel filter, fuel tanks down the back, but really that's all there is to it. It's in many ways a bit like a coffin on wheels. So go down and have a look at the middle, and then we'll have a look at under the back cover. Not much to see in the middle, because the Honda bike was a shaft drive from the V twin through to the rear axle. There's a prop shaft just been inserted to extend that. Problem is that for a right hand drive car, that doesn't leave an awful lot of room for a driver in the end, which is why I've got a bulge on the side of the car which helps to get your feet in, just to give you that little bit more room where your pedals are. The seats were basically made out of a mini back seat that was just cut new backs and bases and recut all the material to fit. Gauges, as I say, are the original Honda bike ones that have been resprayed, renumbered and relettered by me, but again they want a lot of work doing on them. Made a little glove box as well. Some of my early woodworking efforts. Again, looks like it needs some work doing. This is actually melamine, but I'm going to stick with that rather than real wood, because this thing gets wet when it's raining and there's no hood. Studs on the back for the tonneau cover, which has also been eaten by mice, so that's in for a new one of those. But it does cover the whole of the cockpit area, and you can just cover one half over while you're driving if it's raining. Not fun, but I have had to do it in the past. And then on the back there is a beetle back on the back of it. We'll have a look under that in a second. Again, something I've got to sort out. I think you need a rigid connection between the, or a solid connection between the fuel filler and the fuel tank. At the moment there's just a big hole going down to a hole in the top of the tank, so that's got to be sorted as well, I think. The MOT, that lifts off, and then in the back you can see it's just the back half of a Honda motorbike. Springs, frame, cut off there. That's the shaft drive coming in to the back end, and that's the current setup for the brakes, which is just a handbrake pull on that, but I need to add a hydraulic cylinder to the back plate. Fuel tank, again that whole lot needs a lot less sketchy work doing on it. Fuel sender and a small toolbox in the back full of slightly rusty tools, but there are some tools in there. Battery there, and that's all there is really. It's about 350 kilograms. It probably only does about 50 miles an hour, but believe you me, that's plenty fast enough when you're that low down to the ground, bearing in mind that when you're running on a main road you've got lorry wheels that are up here. It can be quite intimidating if you let it get to you. So that's it, very simple, straightforward, easily mechanically sorted. There's a lot of work to be done, and it's not going to be done quickly, but at least now I can see the wood for the trees, and every time I walk through to the small shed we'll be seeing that, and it gives you that impetus to get on and do something with it. So we'll be coming back to look at it over the next year or so, I suspect, as and when I get things done. Before I can even start on this, I just need to sort out that area over there, mainly to get myself a workbench, and then I can start and do some work on the one of the two engines in there perhaps, or even get this one rebuilt. We're not sure what's gone wrong. I think it's a cam chain gone, but we'll have a look and see. There's certainly no damage to the pistons, so not a massive job, I don't think. But there we are, that is the car. So there we are, that's Hettie for you. Look forward to getting that on the road again. It was great fun when I had it, but it's, as I said then, 17 or 18 years ago when that was last the case. And again, whether I can get in and out of it nowadays is a different matter. We'll find out then. I hope it was of interest. Next time I do anything on Hettie, it'll probably be a look at how it was built in the first place, because I've got a load of stills of that, so I'll see if I can do something on that. But obviously anything else is going to have to wait until I get the garage sorted, but hopefully we'll get that sorted as soon as possible. Hopefully see you next week when we'll have something different, and I'll see you then. Bye.